I learned from Shelly in a way. I still
Okay,
bowl
I'm going to
a lot.
record this so you guys are on the recording right now, so why don't you go into a
bowl
different room,
with
okay?
Shelly. I watch her bowler tournaments, and she actually teaches me how to change the surface of the ball. I was bowling a Marmaless in a sports shot league 3 weeks ago, and I said, Shelly, I come back, I said, my ball's going down there like a knuckleball, like a hockey puck. So she gets in her bag, and what is that you got out there for me?
So I decided to put a 180 on his Marmaless.
Oh. 180, folks, is scuffing it up perfect. But for me, good. The ball actually hooked a little bit. But it changed my score about 80 pins over 4-game series just by getting a little flip on the bowling ball. That's what somebody like Shelly, and I'm sure Pete's learned at a young age. And me, I said from the old school, I'm trying one ball with 4 hand positions. It's tough to keep up with 4 balls in 1 hand position. So it's a great educational back and forth with Shelly and I.
Well, I just can't believe that we just heard here, ladies and gentlemen, that Bo Burton takes his Marmaless to a 180 grid. 180 grid.
If they had 80 grid, I'd have gone with the 80.
Hey, Bo, real quick, I want to talk about you for just a minute here. You know, do you feel like if you would have been born maybe 15 years later, that with the reactive resin bowling balls coming out and your accuracy, and we saw the growth of Walter Ray. I know Walter Ray was a player of the year prior to resin bowling balls coming out, but do you believe that I might be sitting next to the all-time most titles ever in PBA history? Because, I mean, let's face it, you know, the resin bowling ball, which we make and we've really revolutionized and through our innovation have done that, I truly believe, and I'm not just saying this because you're sitting next to me, but you might actually have more titles than anybody in the history of the PBA if you'd have been born 10 or 15 years later.
Well, that's quite a compliment, Mike. You know, my bowling, I had good instructions. We had Pete Weber on earlier. I've got to bowl with some of the great players of all teams. My first ABC team, I bowled with Ned Day and Buddy Bowmar on it for the old Pipers. I learned to bowl on wood lanes and lacquer, as Pete Weber did, and as Norm Duke did, and as Walter Ray. That's a great learning curve with a basically plastic ball or a rubber ball. Now that I have the equipment like the Storm has provided with me, and I'm still an active bowler, and I still am pretty strong. I don't know if television took a lot of my time. You're doing a lot of television now, and you do a great job. And as you know, you can't really serve 2 masters. And as good of bowlers as there are in the country, I appreciate the compliment. Although I did win, I think, about 13 or 14 tournaments after I became announcer, I was never a full-time pro. Television was my first gig, and bowling was my second, and both have been very good to the Burton family, that's for sure.
Well, I just know I've gone back, I've watched you bowl, and I know how accurate you were, and if you just had a little more hitting power, get that 5 and that 7 and those 8 and those 10s out of there once in a while, I just got to believe that the modern game would have fit you really well.
Well, thank you. And bowling ball does make a difference. As Shelly and I have been practicing with these new balls that she has to take the team masters, we had to work on making the 5-7. She's got a shot to make them. Because we used to leave the 5-7 all the time. People don't understand that. So it was an accuracy game because if you tried to power the old balls, not like we have in our Storm line, that just didn't work. I mean, if you turned it and hit the oil and just keep on going, so you're better off bowling like Don Carter, Dick Weber, or I learned to bowl Billy Hardwick, Earl Anthony, you take all of them. And you really, all of us are a victim of our environment. If I started to bowling today like Shelly is or like Pete, I would be going to Jason Belmonte and getting that 2 hands going. Trust me, buddy, that's the go. In fact, the other night he invited me to pay all my expenses to come to Australia for a lesson. So I might hold him to it.
Well, I'll tell you what, you mentioned the thing about the announcing and the not being able to do both.
Yeah.
I went and totaled my worst USBC Open championships this year, and the scores are through the roof. We just had a 3,700 bowled out there, and congratulations to some of those guys. They were using our products, and I had my worst outing ever, so I think I'm going to stick to this.
You got an excuse now.
So, hey, guys, we've got a few more minutes here. Curious to both of you, really. What is it about bowling that makes you keep wanting to get better at it? We'll start with you, Shelly.
I think it's the feeling you get when you do so good and you've like accomplished something so big as to winning a tournament. It's just one of the greatest feelings you can ever feel, and it just makes you want to do better and get better every day.
And for you, Pete?
I think that, you know, that the sport is always changing, you know? Like, there's always something new to learn. There's always something, you know, that you have to just do in general, you know, as the time goes on with the game. And me myself, you know, limited to what I can do, I'm destined to practice it, you know, anything to get better as time goes on, and it really sets itself.
Okay, bud. Well, I think we got a couple of phenomenal up-and-comers here. Bo, are you willing to make a prediction here today that we're going to see future champions at the highest level?
I think Shelley is, and to answer that question in a way, I've seen as a young lady how bowling itself developed her life. I have to say this is a little embarrassing to her, but she wouldn't talk to herself in the mirror 18 months ago. But after a bowling ball took her to television, she's won tournaments, stood in front of audience. She got the self-confidence to go forward in life. She was in a Broadway play, The Great Gatsby. I went like this, oh my Shelley, and she was fantastic. She's coming up here and doing this. All of this is in the development of a person for life. Bowling has done that for Shelley.
Oh, that's outstanding. Now, Pete, you said that you were here and you wanted to see Mike Fagan because you liked his personality outside of bowling and you like how he keeps himself together on the lanes. Well, we're going to throw it to Mike Fagan now, who is a bit of a daredevil right now. Mike Fagan is actually up on the zip line right behind our booth, and he's about to head down the zip line right now. Take a look at the king of swing is the king of the zip line right now, right behind our booth. Well, Bo, do you think you could do that?
I'd be willing to try. I have to say I've been a little bit of a daredevil all my life.
Mobile zip line here. Last year I did rock climbing, so I mean, Bowl Expo was all about everything for fun and everything involved in bowling. All right, I'm gonna go cool down a little bit.
But see, if Michael slips, he doesn't break anything. If Bo slips, you're out of business.
And I think they had him mic'd up there too.
Yes,
I
they
didn't
did.
even realize that at first.
What a production crew, huh?
Man, Mike, he's getting out. He's seeing it all. There's no question about it. Mike, that was hilarious. That was funny. We actually came in, and when we sat up here, they got the zip line behind us, and we thought, oh boy, out of all places to be placed right here on the Expo floor, we've got the zip line behind us all day long. But it's been quite entertaining. So we've got just a few minutes left. Any closing statements or anything that you'd like to let people know, Pete? Just about anything that you want to talk about? You know, Storm, Bowl Expo, just personal things that are going on with you.
I mean, I would also like to say that, you know, I wouldn't be where I am today without Randy Peterson. You know, through his coaching and everything, he really has helped me progress my game in a matter of how long we've been working together. And I'm glad I'm being able to throw, you know, some of the best equipment in the world. Honestly, it definitely is an honor.
Well, it's an honor to have you here today, and we're happy that you were able to come up here. I don't know if I'd have been able to do it at your age, but, or at least as gracefully as you did. And Bo, I'll let you ask Shelley a final question here.
Well, Shelley is basically, I know Shelley real well, and I just watched her develop her game. I think that the future is here for Shelley now and what she would like to accomplish in college. She's going to a great bowling school. Lindenwood was, I believe, third last year, and the men won the national championship. What do you think about the college, experience coming up and bowling for Phil Vida? You going to teach him how to win?
I'm really excited for it because we have a few girls coming up, and I think the team's going to be really strong, and I think we have a chance of winning nationals and getting to nationals and doing great things as a team. So I'm really excited for that. And
you will bring a lot. There is a lot that somebody like Randy Peterson could teach you, or I've taught Shelley. The college coaches don't even know. I'm not to belittle them, but I bowled on the tour for 30 years. There's tricks that Miss Shelley knows that she'll show her coach. So I think they're going to be tough to beat. And you're a St. Louis boy. You got to root for Lindenwood.
I do, and I see you've got all your media kit here, and I don't have a media kit per se, but I will toot my horn one time, and that I was the first 300 game in Lindenwood University history. It was the very first tournament I bowled with them. It was at Palace Lanes at the Buckeye Classic. Ed Smaglick and myself both bowled a 300, and it was with a Storm Sky Bowl.
Sound like a commercial, but yeah. Congratulations.
Thanks, buddy. Well, that's going to do it for today. Guys, thanks so much for coming and being a part of this. And
thank you for having us.
The future is so bright in bowling. There's just no question about it. And good luck to you at Lindenwood, and Pete, keep doing your thing. And I know that if you end up going to Nebraska or wherever it is, I know you're going to be in great hands, and look forward to seeing you guys win some major tournaments and seeing you down the road. But hey, that's it for us, Bo. For now, we will be back. Us personally will be back at 4 o'clock with Mr. Fagan. And coming up here in just a few minutes at 3 o'clock, Randy Peterson is going to talk to the elite stars of our staff that have won major titles. Norm Duke, Wes Milan, Pete Weber, and Jason Belmonte will be joining him right back here on Storm Live. So that's it for now from Orlando here at Bowl Expo. We'll see you in a little bit. Enjoy Randy and the boys here coming up in just a little bit here from Orlando.